Welcome back, everybody. This is very exciting. I think this is the most excited I have been in a very long time to record a podcast. Just wait, lads. So, we have the most amazing mix of comedian, equestrian, powerhouse woman, all rolled in to one fabulous lady. Maxi, would you like to introduce yourself to the Equitas generation, please?
Hello, everybody. Well, Warren made me sound way better than I am. I love those credits. I've never been brought up to a stage so well teed up. Thank you. And it's so nice to connect with you. You found me just completely online, right?
Yeah, completely randomly, one of your reels came up. I find it absolutely hilarious. You were
Oh,
comparing men to horses and talking about them being broke, and I just thought it was really, really funny. I roared
don't we
laughing. I was
all
like,
compare
"Oh,
men to
fuck this
horses
lady."
publicly or privately?
Yeah, a little bit of both sometimes.
So you're
I
a
love it.
horsewoman yourself, obviously.
I am. Yeah, grew up with horses, work with horses, shovel shit for my horses,
Woo!
all rolled into one. Yeah, it's
Real
part
deal.
of the daily life at this stage. And come here, did you grow up with horses? Did you compete from a young age?
Yes, I was brought into it by my mom, and from a young age was taking lessons and doing 4-H. And then around my teenage years, she stepped me up to show horses, Morgans and Arabians. We were doing endurance rides as well, and we would do like trail rides all over the world. I was an extremely lucky kid. And didn't realize it, of course, until I become an adult and realized how expensive it is. But yeah, the showing was the majority of it, but I've always loved just riding for riding's sake.
I love it. And where, like, from a very jealous point of view, like, where was your favorite place that you ever got to go and ride?
I'm not sucking up, Ireland. I
Really?
remember being like a 6-year-old kid on a horse called Sparrow, who was the fastest pony I'd ever seen or been on, and us trying to slog through some bogs. My mom had 4 kids with her, and we were doing a point-to-point ride, unguided, through this is pre-cell phones, pre-maps, and I remember just having to look at a paper map and find our way. We got stuck in bogs sometimes, and but it was
Sounds
fantastic.
about right. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds like Ireland.
Yeah, here we are. Your mommy sounds like an amazing lady. 4 kids on her own around the world. Wow.
She's a bit of an enigma. She was pretty badass, and
Love
sorry, I
it.
say was as if she's dead. She's not. She
That could have
she
gotten awkward there really quickly,
That's
Maxie.
right. She was quite an incredible lady, to go with four kids. I mean,
Mm.
that's but I think at the same time, if she had lost one of us, she had 3 more, so it's fine.
She was sorted. She was grand. She
Yeah, that's
wasn't
why
going
she
to.
had extras.
And what made you decide to kind of throw in the towel on it, or was it a decision, or just one of those things that happens in life?
I'm hoping your listeners will not mind the bummer of a detour, but the truth is my mom and I
Mhm.
stopped communicating, and our horses and relationship were so closely intertwined that when I stopped having a relationship with her, I tried to keep the horses going for a little while. I was working for trainers, I was volunteering, I was doing whatever I could to stay close to it. And finally, it was in my early 20s, right after college, and thought, you know what? Maybe it's time to find out what else there is to me besides
Yeah.
horses. So I took about a decade long Rumspringa and have been starting to gravitate back slowly.
I love it. And thank you for your honesty and openness. I think sometimes and I don't know, like I'll use the royal we for horsey people, I suppose.
Yeah.
We get kind of caught into a bubble, don't we? Like horses
Mhm.
take up so much time and so much energy and so much value. You forget that there's other things that you can actually be doing and living life
I mean, why would
outside
you
of
want to? But yes, it is
that.
all consuming.
Yes, some days I definitely want to. I am not going to lie. Like when you're in the middle of Ireland in December and it's lashing rain and you're being dragged around by your
Oh,
racehorse,
yeah.
you're like, why?
Your
Why
hands
am I
are
here?
just stumps at that point, and you're
Oh, they get so cold, so cold. So you have now moved into the comedy circuit. Was
Mhm.
that they're two very distinctly different worlds. Was
You
there
know,
an immediate transition? Was there a build up to this?
definitely took some time to come to, but in hindsight, of course, it all makes sense to me when I'm like, I enjoyed showing horses because of the show aspect of it. I love being on and putting on a performance and being seen. So it was only natural that I'd want all the attention on a stage and a microphone, but just the light pressure of entertaining, and I
Yeah.
think they're connected in that way. But after horses, I didn't immediately think comedy. I just was trying everything that training for horses had never let me do before. So I started taking drum lessons. I did theater. I got my acting master's degree, for what that's worth. All the things that I always wanted to try as a kid, but training for horses had never let me have the time to do. So I kind of just had a second childhood and explored. And that's when I found stand up and was like, "Oh my god, I've never been allowed to question the trainer or question my mom and think for myself."
Yeah.
And now suddenly I get to be the one just questioning everything. It was so it was it was just like freeing beyond belief.
But I think you say what an awful lot of us think and don't know how to vocalize, or maybe are a little bit afraid to vocalize. And you
Mhm.
do with such humility and such humor. And you're sitting like, I have looked at some of your reels, I have to say, like too many times to actually be embarrassed to say it out loud. But you'd be sitting looking, going, this is actually real life. Like, this is what we think, but we don't know how to say it. Was
Aw.
it was it worrying or scary for you the first time you went, "Oh, fuck it. I'm just going to throw this out there and see what happens."
You know, I didn't make horse jokes for a long time. I had a manager right at the start being like, "What's special about you? You've got to set yourself apart." And I just couldn't for the life of me think of how to make horse jokes funny for the general population, but social media changed the game where I was like, my horse girls get it when I make these jokes. No one else has to get it, but thankfully with the internet, I don't have to be on a live show pleasing just those 30 people and hope one of them comes from a background that will connect. Like, the internet will find you. And so I was like, all of us were probably the horse girl in school for not a nice reason. And now I was like, well, fuck it. I put enough work into being the horse girl. Why not see if it can help me find more people now that
Yeah.
I'm doing this other thing?
And do you find that people are now connect, like they say the horsey side of social media and all, are they coming to you now? Like, are they reaching out to you saying, yeah, I love this. This is reality
Yes.
right here.
It's amazing because I feel like, I've always thought there should be a reality show set in barns. Like, there's so much material there that so many people would get, like, huge horse population, well, horse people population, and it's just looked over, and I think it's, well, underserved, partially because if you're in it, you probably don't wanna make waves or cause drama, and so I have the benefit of having stepped outside of it, and I can look at it and be like, "Okay, we're a little weird. We're lovely, we're funny, we're badass, and we'll ride or die for you, but
Yep.
we're pretty weird."
Oh, yeah, we're all a little bit weird. We're all a bit mad. Like when you think
Yeah.
about it, we're all a bit mad. Like, but you're right. Like there's so much, and I don't know. I think I'm definitely seeing more of it now with Equitas. Like I was in the now not in the same position as I could travel the world, unfortunately. Would love to do that. But I was very lucky that I had horses in my life growing up and got to be around the horses growing up. But when I think back now and like some of the stories and some of the stuff, and like I'd love and I love hearing other people's stories. And you're sitting there going, yeah, 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 I get it. Like, this
Yeah,
is
or even
I'm
across
so comfortable
disciplines,
with
and everyone's always like, "Do you know so and so?" And you're like, "Oh, they do a different breed, they might as well be in a different country."
do you know what? It's mad. I had a conversation with a man the other day, right? And he's so I haven't led up a horse on a racetrack, I'd say, in 15 years, right? And he reckoned that he hadn't in, I think he told me about 20 or 25. And Ireland is so small that we were talking about people that we both knew from that length of go that are
Wow.
still in racing. It's like, this is crazy. Like,
That's
we
mad.
need to get out more and we need to socialize more. We probably need to talk to more people.
What question for you, Miss getting into the media? Your brand, what made you want to do it? How did you find the time? How did you find the excuse to do it? There's so many reasons not to do something. You've made this look incredible. I'm looking at the logo up in the corner of this. If people haven't checked out your website or your page, it's so well done. And marketing is coming into all the horse stables now and becoming kind of a requirement, just like everything else. Like, how did you get sucked into the online part of it?
So, to cut a very long story short, it was never a life plan. I'm not very good at life plans, I have to say. I tend to make them and then not really do them. My brain kind of goes, oh, look, there's something else in the corner over there. And then I run towards that. So I have two business partners, Sarah Ellibert and Shane McCarthy. And Shane had set up a company called the Grassroots Gazette. And it is for basically non-professional riders based in Ireland and the UK primarily, but going globally as well. And he rang me one day. There was a lady had been murdered in Ireland. She was out for a run and she had been murdered. And he rang me and he said, I need to do something. Like, I am involved in the media. I have to do something to protect our women, to give our women a voice. So he wanted to set up Equitas. And he did. He set it up with another lovely gentleman and Sarah and our original co-founder, Sarah Campbell. And after a little while, Sarah Campbell decided that the life in the spotlight wasn't really for her. She wasn't very comfortable and she was going to kind of take a little step back. And I have been writing for Equitas at the time and loving it, I have to say. Brought out a whole new confidence in me. And Sarah and Shane rang me. And I thought I was going to be fired. I genuinely, Maxi, I thought I was going to be fired. I was like, I have written something awful. What have I done? Like, you know, when your brain goes into overdrive. Yeah. And I was like,
Yeah.
but I haven't done anything. I don't know what's wrong. And they offered me a position as a co-founder. So that was, oh golly, nearly 2 years ago now. So it's been an absolute roller coaster, I have to say. The learnings and the people. I am astounded with the people that they're coming over. And firstly, I love the fact that they trust us and they can speak to us, and
Yeah.
that they know that whatever they tell us, that it will be dealt with confidentially if needs be, respectfully, constantly, and we can give them a platform. We can give them a voice that maybe they mightn't be comfortable having in other places or other situations. So it's genuinely, in the last year, it has just exploded. It has been absolutely colossal. Like, and even getting to learn about other countries and other, like, when I started this, I knew nothing about the equine world in America bar racing. And then I'm going, oh yeah, I know that one. I understand what that is over there.
Yeah. No, totally. The people, it's such a universal language, and not to be arrogant about horses versus any other hobby that brings people together all over the world. But in terms of longevity, horses is one of the longest horsemanship.
Yes.
You know, centuries and centuries, people have been using the horse either for actual use or just recreation or whatever. And it's like, yeah, it really does tie people together and has for a long time.
Yeah. And it's also really humbling. Like, horses are the best levelers that you can get. And they are the best judge of character. They're brilliant. They're absolutely, like, I will never forget in one of my first racing yards I was ever in. And I wasn't in it very long. I was only about, oh golly, was I 16, 17-ish? Tiny little whippet of a thing. Wasn't strong enough to be there. Like, was just so in over my head. And there was a gentleman, and I use that term quite loosely, from France, right? And he was very, very, very confident and very like to express how confident he was on numerous occasions throughout the day. And one day we we got this list of 2-year-olds, and everybody was assigned a 2-year-old that they had to bring to the gallops. And I was sweating. It's like, I am actually going to die. Like, this is not going to be fun. So I have been given one, and he said, "Oh no, you won't be able to ride that." I said, "Okay, that's fine. Sure, you can swap them around if you want, whatever you choose to do yourself. I think I'm going to die either way, so I don't really mind." So he ended up taking my horse, and we didn't even get to the gallops. He got about halfway up, and the horse stopped, went straight out over his head, landed in a puddle. Now he was fine, thankfully.
Yeah.
Water soaking. Right at the well, now.
And yet, did he even have that reaction?
No, he did not.
Probably
see the
no awareness
at all. He was like, "Oh, this horse is stupid." I don't think it's the horse, but
oh my goodness, the number of times I have the few times I've been lucky enough to get hired to ride a horse on like a film shoot and be like, "Oh, this is the dream. It's the combination of everything." The boy riders are always really bad and don't know they're really bad, and the female riders are of course like expert, but then will tell the wrangler like, "Oh, a realistic assessment of their skills." Meanwhile, the guys are like, "Yeah, no, I can ride anything." And then they get the trouble horse that then you get on, you're like, this horse is perfectly trained.
Yeah, isn't that so bad? How do you like? I don't know obviously an awful lot about film stuff, but how, like, if you wanted to apply for a job as like riding a horse as a role or in a film or in a show, like, do you have to go in and ride for people? How does the process work for it?
So we use reels, just little demo tapes of our special
Okay.
skills, they're called. So anytime a role calls for something specific, you include that to prove you can do the thing. And there have been roles where they ask for it, but often I don't know that I've ever had it get me in a room because I kept thinking, "Oh, this is great. This will get me all the horse riding roles." And it was a little naive because if people want you first as an actor, they'll train you for the rest of it, honestly, or they'll find
Okay.
a double or something. So, naive Maxi coming to the acting world was definitely like, "Oh yeah, this is the way I'll get back to horses. I'll just book a role that lets me ride horses." And turns out that's pretty hard to do too.
And where does it start? Like, when you want to become an actor, like, do
Mhm.
you get a manager? Do you just start applying for roles? Do you make your demo tapes? What's kind of the first processes of it?
I would first warn your audience, don't, because there's so many talented people and it really hijacks your life. Thankfully, I wasn't really doing much else with it anyway, so I'm here to enjoy the ride. But yeah, first you take a lot of classes trying to get better at the actual acting, and then you try to find an agent or manager who can submit you for roles because they have some gatekeeping of if
Yeah.
everyone could submit themselves. I even did a short film my first couple years in LA, and trying to hire actors for that, casting them. I had one specific role that was like elderly female, 70s, 80s, can cry on cue, very specific. And I had like 30-year-old Black gentleman being like, "I'm your guy." I'm like, you did not read the role description at all. So yes, gatekeeping happens to try to cut down on the number of people just randomly submitting so the right people can get to the role. And but unfortunately, there are just so many people going for one role. If you went to an audition in person back in the day that we were still doing that a lot, you'd walk into a room of 30 people who look just like you. It's
Wow.
creepy.
Yeah, that's not intimidating at all. Wow.
Yeah.
And like, wait, so you go in, you do your demo piece, you obviously don't hear it straight away, do you? Do you have to wait
You
to hear
usually
it?
don't hear. So today, I'm very grateful I get to be with you because I had my first avail for a commercial in months, which means they want to book you. They're checking everyone's availability. They haven't confirmed yet, but please hold the dates. Today was supposed to be one of the filming days, and technically they still haven't released my avail, meaning I'm free to forget about it and stop holding the dates.
Oh,
Um,
no.
so I forget what the question was, but basically you are waiting to hear until the end of time sometimes.
And how, like, you're very confident and you're obviously openly bubbly and outgoing, but sometimes, like, that's really, really tough. Like, that's a lot of mental resilience. I know you talk about resilience an awful lot, but that's a lot of kind of holding your own mentality, I suppose, to make sure that you know what's coming next.
In terms of being able to keep energy or
Yeah, both, and even keep yourself motivated and going into the next one and the next step.
oh, sure, but I feel like well, the people you surround yourself with is super important because I have so many people who've been through the same or are a little beyond me or right with me who can buck me up and, reassure me that that's normal or that uh like that bad set didn't mean anything and can keep you going, keep you confident. But also I've really had a chance since it's been, over a decade since I left the horses, taking a
Yeah,
look at like my mentality and how I was being coached. So I had like my 4-H barn, my starter barn with my beloved childhood trainer and my childhood pony. And then I went into the show barn where I had a really rigid trainer, and it's not until you grow out of it that you're like, why was I living or dying by her approval? And like the slightest word from her could just destroy me. And my mind was in her hands so easily. It was just, it's been interesting growing out of that and getting more confident in myself and making my own decisions and thinking for myself. I know it's dumb when I started trying anything new to feel so proud of myself for like cooking a meal, but I feel like I'm a little behind development in some ways because I was just putting my brain in someone else's hands for so long. And part of what makes me confident in what I'm doing now is the fact that I have taken over a decade to build up the confidence in myself back from being completely decimated by someone on a whim, honestly.
oh yeah. But doesn't it just go to show? And I love the fact that it's, I suppose, excuse me, it's been kind of more openly spoken about now, definitely, than it would have been when I was growing up, but how much effect coaches can have on us, not just with our horses, but with our mentality growing up, with our
Yeah.
confidence, with our self-esteem. Like, we put so much trust and faith into these people, but I don't know if they even really knew the effect that they were having on us outside of the
Yeah.
horses. And when we went home and kind of sat back and went, I'm not really that shy, am I? I was
Yeah,
like,
exactly. So my sister kind of got my older sister, 2 years older, and she was doing the Morgans while I was doing Arabians, and then she, quote unquote, inexplicably stopped, got out of it, rebelled against my mom, and then I took her Morgans and we sold the Arabians to work with this trainer, and it started becoming clear like why she had stopped, and she was
wow.
more of a fuck you attitude than I was. I was like, whatever it takes to get to do this. And she was like, no, not whatever it takes. Like, I'm worth more than I don't need this, basically, and walked
Yep.
away, but I was still in it. And uh how did that ah crap. I lost it, but the pony's trotting away with my thought. But
That's okay. It happens to me on a regular basis, to be fair.
um putting our hands in the trainers. Yes, they don't realize the effect they're having on you. Sometimes they do realize the effect they're having on you, and I think enjoy it. But when I got out of my barn and started looking around at other barns, I had some really wonderful horse friends kind of adopt me after I left this trainer and was lost, and they would let me come stay with them and ride their horses and come to the shows and be in their barn aisle, which is just kind of like a gang adopting you when you don't have an affiliation.
Yeah.
And when I started to see how other barns operated and realized, like, oh, not every trainer is like this, or oh, in this barn, they want the clients to enjoy themselves because it means they'll continue to do it. It's both business and taking care of the person. And I'm just like, that's just so much better business.
But even to hear you saying that, like community, like horses are really hard. They're really hard work, and community and who you surround yourself with within that is so important. So it's lovely to hear that your friends were so good and they brought you in, and they, because sometimes when you come out of somewhere like that, you're so lost and you're
Mhm.
so, you don't know what to focus on next, and you've given your entire life over to this, and it takes a long time. It takes an awful long time. Do you think that some of your stand-up stuff and some of the resilience now comes from the horses, comes from having to have that bit of fire and that bit of spark and being able to have the confidence to go, no, actually, I don't want to do this anymore. Don't feel like it.
Absolutely. That was what jogged my memory. My sister, I had a really low show moment. I was sobbing in the car on the way home, and
Oh,
we didn't get along. My sister and I were arch enemies, had a huge rift between us. But this was one of the first times where I called her on the phone because I just really had nowhere else to turn to. And she
yeah.
said, you know, just because even if you're bad at horses, that doesn't mean you're bad. Like, you're not a bad person. You're not bad at other things. Like,
Love it. Yeah.
and releasing the tension on that has helped me even in comedy or acting of like, yeah, like zoom out a little bit and take the pressure off. Cause at the end of the day, I'm watching videos of myself showing from over 10 years ago. And I'm just like, oh, I don't remember any of the placings. I remember the feeling of what it was like
Yeah.
experiencing that. I don't remember any of how the results turned out. Like, who cares? At
No
the end of
one.
the day, it was just about us. I hear friends in the video commenting that I can hear behind the camera, and it's like, that's what we're there for.
Isn't that lovely though? Like, I just, I think there's so much emphasis put on where did you come? And how did you get on? And you see people, and it fascinates me. It absolutely fascinates me, right? And I know social media is a wonderful place, and I have made some amazing friends and made fantastic connections. But
But
but it astounds me, right? If you're at a show and you can see that somebody maybe mightn't have had the most comfortable of days, or the horse wasn't the horse's day, didn't get on very well, but then you see it on social media later, and they have these beautiful pictures and this
mhm.
amazing. And I'm going, why not tell the truth? Why not actually just tell the truth? If you had a shit day, you had a shit day. We are not machines. Horses are not machines. And
Yeah.
it's okay to have a bad day, guys. It's all right. Like,
Horses are the ultimate anti-AI.
and I love it. I love it for it. And like, I build AI systems. Equitas builds AI systems. I am like up to my tonsils, but I love the fact that when you sit on a horse, there's no way I can do that. That's never going to happen. Just
Oh, yeah, it's
no.
like a Disneyland ride where people have gotten so used to things being, like, so idiot proof, and then you put them on a horse and you're like, "No, you gotta remember this is a living animal."
This thinks for itself, and you're going to fall off.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen. But there's so much, and I think it's why I was so drawn to want to speak to you, because you speak so much about the reality of it and the funny side of it. But you're so open about the fact that sometimes it is a bit shy and sometimes it's really hard. And that is all right. And I think we all need to hear that a bit more. Do you know, we all need to know that it's okay. That is all right. And you do it so well with your humor that you kind of go, oh God, this is lovely. Somebody else thinks it, but it's also really funny.
I appreciate you saying that so much because that has always been one of my goals for comedy is that someone sitting in the audience thinks, "Oh, I think that too, and I'm not a monster for thinking that." Because look, she thinks it and she's saying it. That's always been my hope for broader comedy, but also specifically like the reality has to be talked about. I don't know what everyone's parents were like growing up, but in my household, you couldn't say what was happening. You couldn't speak it. It was
Okay.
off limits to say just like to point things out that were not good or that were just crazy, and then you couldn't talk to anyone else about it, which meant you couldn't get help for it and you just struggle through. So I wish more people would feel okay just saying, like, this is the reality of it. It doesn't make it better to hide it. It might not make it better to talk about it, but
Yeah, but at least you're speaking about it and it's
let's be
open
out about
and
it.
you feel a bit better, if nothing else. Like,
Yeah.
you can vocalize. Shh, my dog is trying to
Who's
join.
that? Who's that?
Come here.
Yes.
Oh, now she runs off.
Camera shy. Oh, what a sweetie.
This is Pigeon.
Pigeon. Oh my
Pigeon.
gosh.
Pigeon,
She's
my
the
dog.
prettiest pigeon I've ever seen.
She is. So there's a bit of a backstory to Pigeon. Pigeon was never supposed to be ours. Pigeon is a rescue dog who was actually going to be put down because nobody had come forward to take her about, I'm going to say about 10 years ago now. And I took her for 2 weeks. And and now she lives here with us. But we love her and she's amazing. So she's
Do you have
never
other
leaving.
animals?
I do. I live in a farm in the middle of nowhere in Ireland. We have cattle, pigs, horses, chickens, ducks, peacocks,
That's a
all kinds of
full-time job.
everything. Yeah. Well, now I'm very lucky. I live with my husband and my mother-in-law and my son. So everybody rolls in together. My mother-in-law is the most amazing woman you will ever meet in your entire life. She
Aw.
she is 85 and she is currently in the Czech Republic watching the World Ploughing Championships. Because what else do you do at 85?
Go, girl.
She is amazing. She breeds the peacock, she breeds the chickens, she breeds the ducks. She tells the lads how to farm. She tells me how to ride the horses. She still owns some of the horses down the yard. She is unbelievable. Absolutely. Like, I want to be her when I grow up. She's an amazing.
Oh, that's amazing.
She is
Also,
just.
Nope. Please, no. Finish that thought.
No, she'll also tell you exactly how it is. Like, exactly how it is. There's
That
no
generation of horsewoman, you're just like,
no messing at all. But
may
I
we
love her
become
for it.
those.
Well, it also means when I get a compliment, she really means it. And I will take that compliment and live on it for a couple of weeks afterwards. I'm like, oh no, Eileen said I was brilliant. I don't care.
She liked my hair. I'm not changing it for years.
Ever. No, she is. I'm very, very, very lucky, I have to say. And we live in a lovely part, like we're right on the Laois Carlow border, but it's kind of an hour away from everywhere. And it's just we're very privileged. We're very lucky. Come here. What is your most embarrassing horsey moment? Will I tell you mine?
I'm sure I've had so many. I guess the first thing that comes to mind. No, I wish you could edit this so it doesn't sound like it took me so long to think of, because one of my first horse shows, I was using the lesson horse Shatta, who's this white mare, and the only thing I loved about horse shows at that point, I was like 5, was the snack stand. And the only way you could keep me on the horse was if you kept pumping me full of the snacks and the treats. And I remember my sister getting me an orange juice and an egg McMuffin or whatever, and egg sandwich. And before the class, hands are on the food instead of the reins, and the horse takes one step and I dump it all over this white horse and my white fluffy saddle pad. Just like, I'm in so much trouble. I'm trying to like wipe it away, and it's just making this horse look even more pea stained, and there's just no hiding it.
Oh, I love it. That's brilliant.
I don't even care about losing. I'm just gonna get in so much trouble.
No.
No.
Oh, that is brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant. I
Why
knew
do
you
you
were
wear the
going to
most
have a funny one.
expensive tailored outfits for the
Oh,
dirtiest thing? Getting mud on a three-piece wool suit. How does that make sense?
it makes no sense. And white jumpers. They send us out with white
Right,
jumpers.
right.
It makes absolutely no sense.
Actually,
I'm
Maureen, if
trying
I
to
can
go
follow that
through.
up with a second one, I don't know if this has happened to
Go
other
on.
ladies, but I'm trying to save money, so I don't buy new breeches often. And towards the end of my career, I had a pair of breeches that I'd had for a long, long time. And this was before Lululemon. This was before we realized yoga pants get thinner and thinner with time. So I'm at a horse show, not wearing my jacket, and this woman comes up and is just like, I can see directly through your pants. Your underwear is vivid. And that type of like tell it like it is age of lady where she doesn't
Yeah.
realize she's mortifying a teenager who like really doesn't know better.
But I think that has happened to us all at some stage or another. Like
Oh my God.
100%.
And some
Like
of us will
white,
never know.
white jumpers in Ireland in the rain.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a Girls Gone Wild in Ireland episode.
It's the worst combination. And they have gotten better, but golly, like, yeah, no, it wasn't great now, to be fair. It wasn't the best of situations. Um, I can't wait to hear your answers to this one now, I have to say. This is one of my favorite questions that came in. How would you describe horse girls in 3 words? No pressure.
Judgy.
To be fair.
Tough
Yeah.
and maniacal.
Oh, I like it. Oh, we haven't had that one before now. I like that. That's a good answer. I like that. Yeah. Oh golly. If the last horse you rode,
I love these questions. How are you getting these?
they were sent in to us.
What?
Yeah.
I was like,
If the
ChatGPT is doing a really good job.
no, these are some of the ChatGPT ones I didn't even ask. He's like, that is not funny and that is not okay.
Well, thank you everyone for your thoughtful questions. These are awesome.
If the last horse you rode had a stand-up comedy routine, what would their opening joke be?
She's flopping all over the place. He's my get her off of me. Make it stop. Get me another rider. Her hands suck.
Oh,
Her
that's
posture is terrible, and I can't even see that far back. I can just feel it. My horses would not have liked me.
Do you know what? I think most horses that would be their first ones, though. To be fair,
Yeah.
like, what are you doing?
Oh my God. Communication with another human is hard enough. These poor things have to listen to us nudge it with our heel and guess what we're thinking. Like, what the hell?
And then listen to us get mad when they don't understand.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
Yeah. Okay, lady. Maybe try to like say it a little more clearly instead of passive aggressively.
Oh, golly. Oh, okay. Imagine you had imagine you had to teach a horse improv comedy. What would their first lesson look like? To teach a horse improv.
Of course, improv comedy. I'd be like, first of all, stop pooping all over the stage. That's kind of a no-no.
Slightly frowned upon.
One of the biggest rules of improv, as a lot of people know, is yes, and you can't keep nay-anding everything. I think a horse would do really great in improv. Just kind of fall through the stage is the biggest worry.
Yeah, that could be a bit dodged, to be fair.
I've thought about bringing a horse on stage, and I thought that's just not fair to the horse.
No.
It's really
That would be
not.
quite funny, though.
Hmm?
If you were doing like an outdoor,
Yeah.
like, I don't know, country fair. This is only
Yeah.
because I'm watching. What's that? My Life with the Something Boys that's on Netflix. That's what I was watching that earlier on. So that's what's in my head now.
Oh,
They live
nice.
in the middle of America and it all looks absolutely beautifully wonderful. And right, I have two more questions. If your life so far was a movie, what would the title be and who would play you?
Oh, the title would be Hot Mess. And I think the title would be Lists because I am drowning in my notes on everything that's in my head. And who would play me? I think Gary Busey.
Oh, good call.
Yeah, my hair just never behaves quite right. I think he'd nail it.
I'd watch that. That would be quite cool.
Gary Busey in some riding pants, just trying to.
God, the images. Okay, Molly. And the very last question: if people could know one thing about you that you would like them to know, what would it be?
I'm a little bit angry about a lot of the time. So
Love that.
if I seem cheerful, I'm really trying my best.
But you know what? I love the honesty of that, I have to say, because I think a lot of us are a little bit angry sometimes, and we're really good at masking it. Maybe that's a horsey thing too,
Could
to
be
be honest.
the judges.
It could be. Yeah, I'm fine. I am okay.
My heels are down.
That's what you should call the movie.
Oh yeah, my heels are down. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely to draw a horsey audience. So you have some really exciting big things coming up at the minute. Do you want to tell our audience a little bit about them?
Oh, thank you for bringing that up. Yes, I am in the process of preparing my very first stand-up comedy special, and I am making it a tribute to my horsey past. It'll be Stay Gold Pony Girl out in the next few months. So we'll have more information on where to find it, hopefully by the holidays.
Love it. And if anybody wants to get in contact with you, book you for anything, have a chat to you, listen to any of your amazing stuff, where can they find you?
Yes, I'm on Instagram at MaddMaxi, MaddMaxi, and love to connect there.
Love it. Thank you so much. It has been an absolute pleasure. I have a pain in my face from laughing. That was absolutely brilliant. I loved every second of it. Thank you very much. And lads, we will be back again soon.